Well, Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli said that the government attaches great significance to the renewable energy projects and also boosting their share in the state's total general energy with a view to reducing on the fuel, fossil fuel, and also subsequently securing the hard currency. Well, to shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with our dear guest, Dr. Karam, Eddin, Executive Director of the Regional Center for Renewable Energy. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Well, Dr. Karam, can you tell us about the state's keenness in order to expand renewable energy projects and also increase its contribution to the total general energy so as to reduce the dependence on fossil fuel and also provide hard currency?
In fact, Egypt has exerted a lot of efforts in the past 8 years, I would say, especially in the past 8 years, to strengthen the position of renewable energy in the energy mix. And through this, in fact, several achievements have been realized, and these achievements demonstrate the readiness of the legal framework, the regulatory framework, and it is our investment I would say, environment, and especially for the private sector, I mean. In fact, this has all these efforts have resulted in several accomplishments. The main accomplishments, of course, are some security of supply through the clean like solar and wind technology, especially solar and wind. Also, this is to save a certain amount, which fuel for the power plants, and these savings have resulted in fact, several alternative opportunities. And the alternative opportunities are, first of all, for being utilized in other productive sectors like fertilizers industry, like other uses for, especially for gas, and also possibilities for using this extra amount saved through renewable energy for prolonged use of electricity to serve the community. And the third option, when we have surplus gas, we were able to export some of this gas. So, in fact, the renewable energy have also contributed to significantly also to other aspects, similar, of course, to other green technologies, especially when it comes to climate change mitigation. And renewable energy, in fact, has positioned Egypt as one of the leading countries in Africa and the Middle East in combating climate change through the ambitious program that we have right now, especially those projects that are already implemented and also the other in the pipeline. And we know that the target of Egypt for renewable energy has been revised lately, and it is now 42% by the year 2030 instead of 2035. So yes, this accelerated pace of achieving the target would mean also that Egypt is committed to the climate change aspect, the climate cause, and in fact having the last year the COP in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt, and this year Egypt was very well in fact represented in the COP 28 in United Arab Emirates. In fact, all this proves the leadership of Egypt in this domain.
Yes. So, Dr. Karam Eddin, to what extent does the establishment of new and renewable energy plants contribute to reducing dependence on imports?
Well, to a high extent, of course, because when we say that we would like to reach 42% of our electricity mix, you can immediately translate this into fuel consumption. And this fuel consumption, in fact, is translated into imports of oil, of liquid fuel, I mean, fuel oil, and fuel number 2 that is used in mazot, etc., that is used in currently in the power plants, but also saving in gas imports if we are importing gas. During the time that we have surpluses, and this is expected to be, in fact, recovered soon, we all hope that, this would allow us also to have foreign currency out of the export gains. So by all means, renewable energy would provide economic opportunities in terms of both saving the import and increasing the exports.
Yes. So what is the importance of the private sector's participation in the renewable energy projects, especially as the Minister of Electricity announced that there are offers from various companies with a total capacity of about 33 gigawatts. This is according to the statements by the Minister of Electricity.
In fact, the private sector is the main actor in achieving the strategic objectives of Egypt. Now the government role is somehow act in paving the way for private investments in trying to establish a conducive environment, as I explained earlier, in terms of legal regulatory frameworks, in terms of providing incentives, etc., which would allow the investor to come to Egypt. And in fact, thinking about the risks encountered, we are in fact acting, I would say, in a very good way in relation to de-risking investment. And when we say de-risking investments, we mean that we are providing a lot of incentives in terms, for example, of land availability, in terms of permission and licensing, in terms of custom reductions, tax reductions also, a lot of exemptions, especially for renewable energy and the green hydrogen. And all this would mean for the investor better working environment, better return on investments, and for us, a lower cost of electricity. And this is the most important for the citizen now, because renewable electricity now, by far, is the cheapest source of electricity for the citizens. And when we are expanding the reliance on renewable energy, this means that we are, in fact, improving the economic situation of the electricity sector in general, and also in the future, when the share is high of renewable energy, this would mean that for the citizens, or at least a stable cost without substantial increases annually.
Yes, still shedding light on the role of the private sector. Why is it very important to mobilize the private sector capital to invest in sustainable and green projects, and what is the role that is actually played by the private sector in this field, the green projects?
Well, as you know now, most of the international finance is coming through, in fact, climate finance in general. And the climate finance is not really given to the government, but it is given to mobilize the markets, creating free, transparent, well-governed markets. And here it comes, if as a country we are relying on state-owned project, we will have very limited possibilities for expansion and growing and responding to the growth of the demand. But when we are relying on private investment, we are in fact taking the benefits of the availability of the international finance, international climate finance in particular. This is one thing, because we are green projects. The other thing, that you are in fact growing the market rapidly, because I would say the dynamics of the markets are better. And when we say the competition among the private sector and the partnerships created, this would mobilize the entire economy. And with such approach, you are not only increasing the electricity supply through renewables, but you are also providing strong economic case. We have already, as renewable energy project, the economic case that we can be a good source for foreign direct investment. We can mobilize local investors to go into partnerships. And in fact, part of the success story that our local developers and our local suppliers of equipment and contractors in the civil work, mechanical works, electrical works, etc., are now also getting a lot of experience that they can act in other markets in nearby regions. For example, we know how big is the market in Africa now for renewable energy. The growth is very high. And the Egyptian companies now, through the partnerships established through our program here in Egypt, are getting better opportunity to go into also partnerships to serve the African continent. So the participation of the private sector is really crucial, is important. It is not only about the sufficiency of electricity, it is also about the economic benefits.
Yes, Doctor, also, how do you see the importance or the significance of the green hydrogen production project in El Ain Al Sukhna, which has already begun the production in its first phase?
Well, we are making history now. In fact, as we know, Egypt was the first Arab and African country that resorted to solar energy, and we were the first also to have the largest wind farms all over Africa. And now we are the first country that is already producing green hydrogen. And green hydrogen means hydrogen produced through electricity coming from renewable energy. And this means that we are not only strong in renewable energy, in having a project for renewable energy, but we are also going into new sectors that typically hard to abate in terms of emissions, in terms of utilizing green technology. And with hydrogen now, we are tapping into these new sectors. For example, when you have green hydrogen, you can go into ammonia production, and you can export green ammonia. You can also feed other industry like the steel industry. You can go also in sustainable aviation fuel, or you can go also in shipping fuel. And we have seen that companies are investing in Egypt to have to fuel ships that passing through the Suez Canal free zone, Suez Canal, I'm sorry, through establishing projects in the free zone, Suez Canal free zone, so that they can, in fact, fuel the passing ships through hydrogen-based fuels.
Yes,
so a lot of opportunities, and this demonstrates the leadership of Egypt in this sector. In fact, not only in Africa, but also being a hub worldwide, in fact, for green hydrogen exports.
I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Maged Karam Eddin, Executive Director of the Regional Center for Renewable Energy. Thank you very much for joining us over the phone. With this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program Breakfast Show. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.